The road to spring training continues. Faizal Khamisa, Ben Nicholson-Smith holding it down for you. Right now we're going to talk about the 5 positions the Jays are the most vulnerable. And I know there are 9 positions on the field, throwing some batters, some DHs, and that sounds like a scary headline. We're not here to drop fear on you. We're here to talk about, where the strengths are and where some weaknesses are. So let's start at shortstop. We know Bo Bichette came in. He was incredible in all facets of the game, but if there's a Bo Bichette injury, Ben, there's a little bit of concern.
Well, this is exactly it, Faizal. You look at Bichette, and he's the Blue Jays' most exciting player, arguably. I mean, along with Vlad Guerrero Jr., he's so much fun to watch, whether it's on the bases or on defense or, of course, at the plate. But if he were to get injured, and if the Jays had to scramble a shortstop, it would be a difficult situation for them, because you look down the depth chart. I mean, they've got Brandon Drury, who could be a 1 or 2 game stopgap for them. Beyond that, you start looking at guys like Breivik Valera, who has never hit at the major league level, Santiago Espinal, who has never been to the major league level, guys like Ruben Tejada, who are past their prime, never good offensive players to begin with. So that really reinforces to me the importance of Bichette and him staying healthy for this team.
All right, first base situation right now, you signed Travis Shaw. He's a guy that could play there. There's Rowdy Tellez who's there, but defensively, we're not here to talk about that. We're talking about at the plate, a lefty pitcher on the mound. Who do you want playing first in that situation?
Well, this is where it gets a little tricky for the Blue Jays, because all of their options are left-handed hitters. And Travis Shaw, even when he was really good in 2017 and 18 with the Brewers, he didn't hit left-handed pitching all that well. So at that point, you're looking down the bench. Rowdy Tellez, also a left-handed hitter. Same with Cavan Biggio, a left-handed hitter. So they don't have that clear-cut right-handed complement that they did when they had Steve Pearce here, or of course, years ago when they had Edwin Encarnacion, also a right-handed hitter. They don't have that obvious answer against lefty pitching. So maybe someone can step up in that role. Until then, it would be a bit of a hole for this team.
There's going to be a lot of competition, I imagine, to fill the Jays' bullpen. We know who the last guy up is going to be. Ken Giles, still the closer. Bridging the gap between starter and closer, though, right now, it's up in the air.
That's a lot of question marks. And I mean, not every team has to have that star-studded New York Yankees bullpen with Aroldis Chapman and Zach Britton and Adam Ottavino. I mean, that's a lot to ask for. The Jays do not have that.
No,
let's be clear. Yes. But you can have a good bullpen, as the Tampa Bay Rays have shown, with some more no-name type guys. And that's the recipe that the Jays are going to be going for here. We all know, people who watch baseball year after year, bullpens are pretty unpredictable. So there's no guarantee that the quote-unquote best bullpens will actually perform up to those expectations. But going into the season, the bullpen looks vulnerable to me. Not a lot of sure things beyond Ken Giles.
Also, the rotation is still pretty vulnerable. They go make a big splash, of course, we all know, getting Ryu to sign in Toronto. But beyond that, again, like the bullpen, question marks, right?
Yeah, there are. And I think even with Ryu, there's the question of how well he can stay on the field.
Yeah, if he gets hurt, who's your number 1 guy? That you're losing a big place of strength there at the top of that rotation. If he goes down, you're looking at the rest and you're like, I don't know.
Right, there's no one who's clearly like that, number 1A behind Ryu. So I do think there is some vulnerability there. And I mean, it's every team would like to have more starting pitching. So the Blue Jays are far from unique in this. It's not a cause for alarm necessarily, and it's way deeper than it is last year. But I think it is worth saying that, if Ryu were to miss a stretch of time, they wouldn't have that clear number 1.
Finally, Ben, outfield depth. Derek Fisher, Anthony Alford, good in sporadic moments, but if you're relying on them to play every single day, it means you probably have a problem.
I think you're right, and they're one injury away from having that be their reality, where if a guy like Teoscar Hernandez goes down, or someone like Lourdes Gurriel Jr., Randall Grichuk, if any one of those guys misses time, all of a sudden you have Fisher or Alford or Billy McKinney in an everyday role, and that's really not the situation you want to be in, because those guys in their flashes in the majors have just not hit to the level that you would hope for and expect.
I know you might be scared after hearing that conversation. Again, this was not to place fear on any of your head tops. It's just having an open, honest conversation about the depth of the team right now. As always, you can read more on their strengths and weaknesses on sportsnet.ca. That is Ben Nicholson-Smith.
Perfect.